Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to episode 11 of Rogue to High Rated. Right now, I believe our rating is 435. Last episode, in episode 10, we played against Dragon Link. If you want to see how that episode panned out, check up in the top right. I should leave an annotation there for you guys if you want to catch up on the last episode. Trying to do these about one a week currently. These are a bit older replays, because I haven't had a lot of time to DB grind with Speedroids specifically, since I've been trying to focus so much on learning and getting better with Sword Soul. So these are a little bit older, but obviously still within the same format. And I'm actually not sure what we're playing against. You guys already know because, of course, the title. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into this one here. My opponent, the Marmal Marit, with 300 rating, again to our 435. And rock, paper, scissor. We end up tying. Then we end up losing the RPS. And let's see what our opening hands here are. So, my opponent is on the Floowandereeze deck. And, yeah, this is an interesting matchup because normally for a lot of people, like, the wind barrier statue is game over if they can't out it. But Speedroid is an exception because everything in the deck is wind. And it's not really floodgate at all. It's own extender, I guess, right? So our opponent opened up Duality, Dark Ruler, Evenly, Pot of Prosperity, and the Magnificent Map. So they opened up their best 2-card combo, the basically Pot of Greed with more steps. And let's see how this one plays out. So we go ahead and lead with the Duality. Obviously, there's no reason to ash any of this stuff. Just gonna let it go through. He'll add the trap. If anything there is to ash against this particular matchup, it's this card. If they lead with this card, or use at any point during their combo, this is always like a pretty decent ash, because they lose a card, and then if you ash this, they go -2, so like a very good trade. But he will take the trap card, which is really strong to have already and preemptively. And he's going to follow up with the Prosperity to go ahead and dig 6 cards deep, Evenly, another pot, Dark Ruler, another pot, and another map, and a Featherstorm. Surprised he didn't take the Featherstorm there. I guess not taking it blind makes sense, but then, like, why put it in your deck? Gonna go first, I guess? I don't know. And then he's just gonna set Evenly and pass. Well, I guess he doesn't have a way to play regardless, which is actually kind of funny. Like, through all those cards, he revealed he did not have a single way to play. And looking at what he banished here, number 63, Shimoji Soldier. I didn't even know this was a card. Double Nightingale, Downard, Zeus, and Entus. Yeah, he did not open up well whatsoever. A lot of going second cards in the opening hand that aren't doing him too good. We're going to leave with a Butterfly. And I do go for the rubber band plane here specifically because my only play here is going to be normal Fukiminoshi Piper, and I would like to get some value out of it. Instead of just excavating 1, I want to go ahead and excavate 2. And I know that if I do that, I can still get to Baron under the 5th summon. So Butterfly is going to trigger rubber band plane. And then we go ahead and commit the normal of the Fukiminoshi Piper. We're going to go ahead and excavate 2. And we reveal a Hound and Imperm. So it's a little bittersweet revealing the Hound since I had just burned my normal summon to, you know, get to it. But it is what it is. We're going to take the Imperm here, obviously. There's no value in taking the Hound at this point. If we want to get to Hound later in the combo, we can just use Rubber Band Shooter to do that anyways. So we might as well take a free interruption while we're at it. And Imperm's just always good against the Floowandereeze deck. So we're going to go ahead and put that to the bottom. We're going to activate the Butterfly here, and we're going to go ahead and make Baron. And obviously, since we have Speed Recovery, and we'll clear the back row for beforehand as well. Then we're going to use Recovery, bring back the Piper, and we could just make Shen Shen right there, and that would literally just be our turn. Baron, Shen Shen, with Imperm, Goes, and Ash. But Shen Shen, much like Wind Barrier for us, is an extender, right? So making Shen Shen against this deck doesn't really do anything. So we're going to go for the Rubber Band Shooter. And banishing a 5 here, and you'll see me banish Hagoita. This is something that with this deck I really hate doing. I don't like banishing Hagoita whatsoever, just because how good of an asset it is. But I know 2 cards in my opponent's hand. I know it's Dreaming Town. I know he has Prosperity. The fact that he took another Prosperity off the Prosperity tells me that his hand is probably not that good. So I want to try to go for the OTK. So I'm basically putting him on 2 hand traps right now. I know 2 cards, right? One of them can be a hand trap, but it's going to get stopped by Baron. And the other one's got to be other hand trap too. So he's got to have 2 hand traps on top of those 2 cards that we already know. And I don't want to banish Chanbara here, because banishing Chanbara will mean that I cannot go for game. So I have to unfortunately get rid of another level 5. I would only ever do this in a situation where you're like 90 to 99% confident that you can go for game. And no matter what I get here, whether I get Terror Top or I get Marble Machine, I have access to Chanbara. So now we're going to use our additional normal. It's actually better that we get Marble Machine this way, because it's just like less steps we have to go through. We get the Car Turbo Engrave, or not the Car Turbo, the Terror Top Engrave with the recovery. For next turn, there's going to be a next turn, right? Synchro 5 for Chanbara. Car Turbo boost everything up. And just Chanbara and Rubber Band Shooter with Car Turbo is game enough. It's exactly 8,000 damage, and the Baron is just kind of there as a security policy. So my opponent obviously concedes, and we're into a game 2 very quickly, which is what you love to see. And then opening hands in game 2, my opponent opened up Empem, Ryza, Avian, Shifter, Pot. So opening very subpar again here in game 2 to our Imperm, Marble Machine, Tekatombor, Gamma Driver. So we're siding the Gamma package in here. I usually side out like all 3 speed recovery and a duplicate going second for the Gamma package. Going forward, I like currently, since this is like, again, this is an older replay, and I'll show what my deck list looks like after this, because I had some people in my Discord asking, just so you guys can see what my current deck list is. I haven't really played the deck that much, because again, trying to focus on Sword Soul for 1 deck 1 month. No, I'm not playing it in Master Duel, because I despise the competitive format in that game. But yeah, Gamma I think is a really solid card, especially going against a deck like this. Being able to Gamma their first normal summon is just absolutely huge. So he's going to go ahead and lead with the Duality. And we have Imperm too. Like, it's just ready to stop the board. He does have D-Shifter. Now, I could Gamma this, but I don't want to, because that'll turn off Imperm. And I think about this for a second. Like, it would be really great to Gamma that D-Shifter, but is it worth it necessarily? And he's going to go ahead and reveal 3, revealing Double Map and Unexplored Winds. This guy has gotten so unfortunate here. He'll take Unexplored Winds, obviously, because he wants to kind of fix his hand. Put those 2 maps back into the deck, activate Wind, and he's going to go ahead and recycle 2. And I just want to double check what this says. Reel up to 2 Winged Beast Monsters. He's going to put back Ryza and Empen, and he draws into Featherstorm Duality, which is absolutely horrendous. So he sets the Featherstorm and passes. We do find Hound. I don't want to commit to anything here because I'm under D-Shifter. I don't really feel like I'm in any threat of getting OTK'd. Again, I know... well, I do know 1 card in his... Well, not anymore, I guess, because he took the Unexplored Winds. Everything else, I believe, is unknown. And he drew the Featherstorm and the Pot off of the Winds. So... no known cards in hand, but no normal summon, no engine necessarily, or at least that I would know of. So it's either board breaking cards, or side decked cards, or it's hand traps. And I don't want to try to walk into hand traps while also playing in a D-Shifter, so I just decide to pass. Again, I still have 2 hand traps, they're both still live. And he's going to go ahead and draw the Advent of Adventure, which is really good here. He just needs to reveal something really good off the pot, which he does find a Robina, and I imagine he'll take the Robina. And he'll put all that back. And now he's going to activate Unexplored Winds and put back just Avian, draw into Ryza, and yeah. So I Imperm here, and I know I don't know he has Advent, because that was his draw for turn. And then he drew this off of this, found Robina off of the pot. So I guess to play around Advent, it would have been better to Gamma, because the Robin is still getting negated regardless. So he is going to chain that there. So, but Imperm Gamma is also really awkward, just because like you have to use Imperm first. I mean, it is what it is. And he's going to go ahead and grab Barrier Statue. Still, I don't know. He could have grabbed anything else. I guess maybe he's trying to play around Gamma, because this plays around Gamma. If he grabs Eaglin, it just dies to the Gamma as well. So maybe he is trying to play around Gamma. That's maybe what it is. Battle phase, swing for 1,000. And maybe he's hoping I also didn't open up well by how I actually just passed turn. So maybe that was sending him false information. You know, but my hand is absolutely stacked right now. So we go ahead and normal summon Marble Machine. Does have Feather Storm, which is pretty damn good. I do spec out the Tekatomborg, just because that effect, well, to summon him, it's not an activated effect. And this just says, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. And it doesn't activate. So it just happens. And he's going to draw another Advent of Adventure. He's going to go ahead and activate the Unexplored Wind, put that back, find a Pot of Prosperity. Which he actually can't use this because he just drew a card. And I do tell him, yeah, you can't, already drew. So it's kind of a dead draw here at this point. Well, yeah, I mean, it sucks that he drew that off of Advent. And now he's going to unresolve Robina here. So this is falling a little out of my favor. Featherstorm is just an insane card. He had to have that, or else he was dead that turn. Robin into Eaglin, into M-Pen. And he's going to be able to get his engine going here for like the first time the entire match. He'll send off the Marble Machine for the M-Pen. He's going to go ahead and get to Chainlink 1 M-Pen, Chainlink 2 Eagle. He'll grab the trap. He'll grab back Eagle. And he pretty much has everything he could want here. Battle phase, swinging for 16. And set the trap and set Advent. And yeah, this is like really, really good for him. I draw a card turbo for turn. We're going to start with the Hound. I'm going to read it, which is obviously fine. We're going to dump the Duke, activate card turbo here. And I'm not sure if I was playing, because I can't look up my extra deck here is here. I'm not sure if I was playing Juju still, but the reason I love Juju is because it's a great out to a card like M-Pen. In fact, it's like one of the only easily made forms of spot removal against a card like M-Pen, because it's so easy to get to, as you can see here. I'm not sure if my opponent does anything here. He doesn't, and I am still playing Juju, which is great. I'm currently not playing Juju only because I think Raptite is so incredibly important just for trying to deal with DPE and like Celestial and Dasher, because those are such problematic cards. And I think I value that over that of trying to deal with something like M-Pen, because I feel like I'd have better side deck options for this deck currently. But on summon, he is going to, I mean, this isn't really outed. It just forces him to use the trap. And then he's going to go ahead and resolve Eaglin, get Apex Avian, and I imagine I do not win this game here whatsoever. Going to tribute summon for the Robina using my Juju as well. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and admit defeat. That feels like a game that I probably could have won. Maybe playing into the D-Shifter was the way to go. Sometimes, like, I get very indecisive in those situations where, like, my opponent obviously couldn't do anything. And they're just relying on D-Shifter to kind of buy them a turn. D-Shifter doesn't, like, super hurt Speedroids. It kind of hurts your grind game a little bit because, like, the only thing that gets truly turned off is, like, your card turbos and your Dukes, which are pretty big parts of the deck. You also can't Cork Shooter either. And the whole Rubber Band Shooter and a Chambra play doesn't work either because you need access to cards. I think ultimately it's just unlucky he had Featherstorm. And what also sucks too is I never got to resolve the Gamma. I still feel like I should have just Gamma the Robin, and then I can't use Imperm. So what? I can't use Imperm. I'll just have it for next turn. I think that's where the big issue ended up lying. My opponent has the Lancia sided in, which is interesting to see in the side deck of this deck. He opens up pot, Econ, another pot, a Magnificent Map to our Terratop, Recovery, Judgment, Terratop, like a Tomborg. So this hand is absolutely insane. Terratop with double recovery and an extender, plus a Judgment. Like, what else could you ask for? So, I think I'm going to do like an anti-Nibiru. Like, well, this play can definitely do the anti-Nib play. 100%. So we're going to go ahead and add the card over here. This is typically what I would do. Anytime I open up Terratop plus Marble Machine, Tekatomborg, or Card Turbo, you can do this route. You can also do it if you open up just Marble Machine and Tekatomborg, or Marble Machine and Card Turbo. You search out the third piece. So you guys will see what I mean here. We're going to tag out for Duke. And then we are going to, yeah, so this is the anti-Nibiru play. It also helps to protect your rubber band shooter. And my opponent is going to use Lancey here, which does hurt a little bit. It's going to turn off rubber band shooter and some other things. But we do have the recovery that's going to help play around it. I think we're still going to be able to get to the board we want to get to. So we're going to synchro 8 for the first Crystal Wing. And then we can activate Card Turbo here and bring out Hagoita and do all that. Could also make Shen Shen with a draw 1 as well. But again, I don't like making Shen Shen against a deck like this. I just don't really think it's worth it. Unless I really want the draw 1. So summon out Card Turbo here. Activate Hagoita. And then we're going to go ahead and make a second Crystal Wing. Or we're going to make Charge Warrior. Okay, so I guess this is a Charge Warrior double Crystal Wing. Okay. Yeah. This works out well, too. We just have to burn the double recovery. And burning recovery isn't really a big deal. So long as you have like good targets engraved. Because you're just getting those cards back next turn. We do make the second Crystal Wing. With the draw 1, we draw into a rubber band shooter. Like, not the best draw, but again, it could have been a hand trap or another going second card, so I figured I might as well go for it. I don't know if decks like this typically play Nibiru. I would imagine they would, unless there's like... I can't believe I'm asking, like, thinking about this. Because I know this deck, like, only ever lets you normal summon. And you end up normal summoning during your opponent's turn, too. I don't really think Floowandereeze players play Nibiru. At least it just wouldn't make any sense. Maybe it would, I don't know. But he's going to lead with the duality. He's going to reveal another duality. His reveals have been kind of awful. And an Eagle, that's a pretty good one, especially with a map. He also has Econ 2, which is kind of strong, but not strong enough. He is going to activate the map. I do let this resolve. Or no, I don't let it resolve. I just go ahead and judgment it. Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, too. Either, well, because this says, your main phase, you reveal one level 1 Floowandereeze monster in your hand, banish one Floowandereeze card with a different name from your deck. So, I mean, judgmenting their normal summon is okay, but then if they have map, they can just go get something else and normal summon again. So... that kind of works. Yeah, I mean, Judgment... I feel like Judgment on map or any normal summon is just really good here. And I think that's correct, honestly. I feel like. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and activate Pot. I mean, maybe saving Judgment for something like Pot would have also been really strong, too. Just because they don't get to dig that many cards deep. And he does find an evenly match here, which is really good. So he is going to force out a Crystal Wing, right? Nothing too big. He's going to go to the battle phase here. Obviously, I'm going to keep the one Crystal Wing. He is going to pass turn. Could have normal summoned Eaglin, but obviously it's going to die to the Crystal Wing, so there's no point in doing that. And at this point, we don't have to worry about any interruptions. So, like... we just have double recovery, and this is just going to be game here regardless. And we're already safe from something like Nibiru or any other hand trap that could be somewhat problematic. But I don't know if Judgment on the map was necessarily correct. Let me use each effect. And this, you can activate multiple of these per turn, I would imagine. It doesn't say that you can. But like, yeah, I don't feel like it was correct. I feel like I definitely could have judgmented something better. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you have Solemn Judgment against Floowandereeze, what do you think is like the best thing to hit? I don't think it's map. It can't be map. Maybe it is map, but that's the whole point, is try to learn and get better with this series. So, and I think I just take the easiest route possible here, which is gonna just be Chanbara. Yeah, Chanbara. This is just game right here. Yeah. And this was an important thing too. When you play a deck like this, or I mean any deck in general, it's very easy to get caught up into the combos that you know. Like the thing is, you can do with just Marble Machine, right? Outside of just summoning a Chambra, you can get very easy to get caught up in doing other plays. At least I know I personally have that problem sometimes when game is just right there in front of me and you're just overthinking it, right? But this is just game on board here in 3 summons. No need to go any further. Like, this is just game. My opponent has to have Imperm or Veiler. Well, he can't have Veiler because it's getting negated. He has to have exactly Imperm for the Chambra. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and just scoop right there. I could have also summoned the Rubber Band Plane, but again, there's no reason to do that. Like, I could fight through as many interruptions as I can with these cards here, make them burn as many things, and again, I still have double recovery, Paratop, the Duke Engrave, Rubber Band Plane in hand, right? Hagoita Engrave, so much follow-up there. So make the bare minimum, go for game, don't overthink it, and yeah, look what happened. We just take the game right there, save some time to help you in IRL tournaments too. It's just a skill that I need to hone more, I guess, just because sometimes, again, I just overthink in the heat of the moment, and it can easily happen to anybody. You could just like game literally right there, and you're just like, oh wow, I could have just gone for game, but instead I played into a Nibiru, right? I remember doing that a lot with Earth Machine, because like you could do a lot of cool plays, just like sauce on your opponent, but you could also have just done way less things and way more simple things in under 5 summons and still gained them. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Rogue to High Rated. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos on the bottom of the screen right now. As always, winner kills. I don't know. We'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members who are Tweeter0226, Ponystar, Cadillacs84, Keith Sidgers, Justin Lamb, and Master of Isa. Thank you guys so much for your extremely kind and generous support of the channel.